Hello everyone, Dynamode here. Welcome to a special spooky season Halloween episode starring the nurses from the survival horror game Silent Hill and beyond. This episode was requested by Drake Powers, who is also responsible for the video's thumbnail. Please go check out the artist, I'll put a link in the description box below and give him a follow. Back on topic, so who or what are the nurses? They are a recurring monster enemy type that you'll encounter on a frequent basis, and are a staple to the Silent Hill franchise. In the first Silent Hill game in 1999 on the PlayStation 1, their design were much different than what we're used to seeing today. Originally, the nurses were once normal humans, but with a large slug-like parasite leeching off their upper back, giving them a hunchback. Zombified and acting against their will, they were known as puppet nurses. In the Silent Hill sequels, and many more after, they had a major overhaul because Part 1 was not considered a continuity of sorts, according to the developers. Instead, they re-established the entire series in Part 2 as the origin story, while Part 1 served as the foundation or concept idea for the franchise. Anyways, this new nurse that the fans know today, her redesign was much more defined. Some fans would describe the nurse as curvy, womanly, and unsurprisingly, being called sexy on occasion. But they are still monsters nonetheless, but now with better historical context. These nurses are the manifestation of the town of Silent Hill, drawing in negative emotions of any individual person who enters the haunted place. They act as the mirrors of one's anxieties and fears. The themes of hospitalization, insanity, and death in each game are recurring features in all the monsters. The incarnation of each nurse in various game sequels and spin-offs have slight differences in terms of how they are manifested, but they all share disfigured physical attributes, and all originate from hospitals due to the town's nightmarish history. Let's go over a few variant nurses to get an idea and familiarize ourselves on why fans are so keen on drawing lewd fan art of these cryptic creatures. In Silent Hill 2, where they made their redesigned debut, the main character, James Sunderland, who received a mysterious letter from his late wife, Mary. When he entered the town's hospital, his subconscious took form and created the bubble-headed nurse. They can be described as ashen-skinned humanoid females, wearing low-cut vintage-style white medical nurses' uniforms that is smeared with dirt and old bloodstains all over their clothes and body. These illusions, who became physical real-life beings of James, symbolize his psyche. Their feminine appearance represents in some ways his late wife, but their faces are indistinguishable, looking more akin to fleshly boils or padded globs of meat. Also, they partially expose their breasts, cleavage, and wearing miniskirts may spark some arousal to the viewer, but they do in fact represent James' sexual deprivation. His inner desire, longing to touch his wife again, has ceased ever since she became terminally ill. So, the nurse's physical forms tantalize his thoughts, but also mocking him because of their violent and twitchy compulsive movements. In Silent Hill 3, they appear more human, though their faces are still distorted and deformed. They sport a bob cut hairstyle, colored black, and possess a ghostly pale colored skin complexion as well. Their dresses are longer and dirtier, more than just blood, possibly drenched in vomit. While their breasts are covered a bit more, they are noticeably larger than the bubble-headed version. These Silent Hill 3 nurses represents pain and hatred of the main protagonist, Heather, who spent her childhood memories in hospitals. Fun fact about the Silent Hill 3 version: when in the game, some of these nurses wield revolvers instead of the signature steel pipe weapons.
Our residents are trying to nap!
Then we have the Homecoming one. From the looks of it, they kind of went 180 on this, because instead of keeping the creepy and eeriness design about them, the nurses became oddly hotter, more sexually appealing. Their low-cut skirt is smaller and tighter, and instead of fabric, the outfit looks more like another layer of skin. Also, their breasts are shown more 90% cleavage. And another odd design is that these are the only nurses that wore high heels, amplifying their, well, lustrous nature. Overall, they have a red color hue on their bodies. And here's an interesting weird fact about the Homecoming nurses. They are sensitive to light. It attracts them, causing them to violently twitch and move to the source. Also, exposure to specific types of light reveals a fetus inside them, shown here. Alright, now let's talk about the film. First Silent Hill movie, they're called The Dark Nurses. And in my opinion, this is like the most accurate portrayal of how these nurses behave. I recommend you watch the first Silent Hill movie. It's really good. It may not be the same characters, but it captured the vibe and atmosphere. So in the end, why do fans love the Silent Hill nurses? It's because you look but you can't touch. If it looks womanly and feminine enough, people will try multiple ways to make Rule 34 art, no matter what. You can't stop those type of people. It is what it is. If it's got boobies, it got legs, and it's got a butt, hey, they'll draw it. Thank you all for watching. Dynamite out.